feels like every month we are getting something new about Cyberpunk 2, and I'm not complaining at all. Now, for a game that seems so far away, we're getting more and more info over time about how Cyberpunk 2 is actually shaping up. I like to think we're seeing some of the frameworks being put in place for what is eventually going to come. Now, there's plenty of things that we have already known and I've spoken about before. The dual cities being added with that Chicago gone wrong style thing coming that I have no idea what to think of. We also know that the game is going to be made using Unreal Engine 5 rather than Red Engine. However, what if I told you there might be an even bigger rumour going around right now? Now, at first that might sound crazy, but yeah, it's something that's been circulating all around the Cyberpunk space online, and that is the possible addition of multiplayer in Cyberpunk 2. Something that we were actually promised for the original version of Cyberpunk 2077 all the way back in 2013. So I want to discuss what this would mean for Cyberpunk 2 going forward if it actually does materialize. Will CDPR be able to handle such a task without taking away the quality from their single player experience? I also want to sort of theorize how this could actually work in the Cyberpunk world, and is it something that we necessarily need? So that's what I'm going to be discussing all in today's video. Before we do start though, if you do enjoy these kinds of videos, please be sure to consider subscribing. It turns out only 0.3 of my watchers are actually subscribed, so any support would mean the world. So to dig into the news that's been sparking all of this multiplayer excitement, the focal point is a job posting on cyberpunk.net that has dropped a bombshell about the sequel. Now, they are asking for a lead network programmer to work on Cyberpunk 2. Now, according to this post, the role involves designing and implementing network architecture and online systems for the game, as well as ensuring low latency, high performance online experiences for players. Now, that alone paints a picture of a robust online infrastructure. This isn't vague whatsoever. It is a clear indicator that unless CDPR pulls another U-turn like they did with Cyberpunk 2077's original multiplayer plans, that they are pretty serious about getting some sort of multiplayer aspect added to Cyberpunk 2. Designing and implementing the network architecture, that suggests that they're building a foundation from scratch, likely to handle a dynamic online environment where players can connect seamlessly. Best example I could give you would probably have to be GTA Online. Obviously, you have the world around you, obviously the NPCs, the cars, etc. But as well as that, you have online players interacting with yourself and other NPCs as well. Now, I was literally about to say, as of recording this video, that the job listing is still up for you to go and look at yourself. However, when I do go to try and find it, I can't find anything at all, meaning that I believe someone has been possibly taken up for this role. And it is certainly interesting that CDPR are looking to go in this direction, especially with their ties and history back with multiplayer modes. Now, when Cyberpunk 2077 actually launched in December 2020, we all know that it was a mess, crashing consoles, buggy quests, and a multiplayer mode announced in 2013 that just never materialized. Back then, it felt like CDPR had big dreams, big hopes, promising a GTA Online style experience, but after that launch fallout, they scrapped it in 2022, with senior designer Philip Weber admitting that it was too ambitious given the single player focus. It seems that at this point in time, though, they're looking to completely flip that script. Instead of a standalone mode, it hints at a more hybrid approach, multiplayer woven into Cyberpunk 2 from the ground up. The fact that they're hiring a lead network programmer with 7+ years of programming experience, at least 1 year of managerial experience, and proficiency in C++ and Unreal Engine shows that they are serious. I just quickly read a briefing about the entire job summary, and I wouldn't be serious if I was telling you that I entirely knew what proficiency in C++ means. I'll be totally honest, you can call me out if you like. But what does this overall mean? Well, it's a bold move for CDPR, that's for sure, signaling that they have learned from their past mistakes and are willing to gamble again. The emphasis on scalability and performance shows that they're aiming to avoid this entire disaster in 2020, where the servers just couldn't handle the load. Yet the recently closed position still does indicate that the team is still being assembled for this project, which could mean obviously the fact that we're not going to see this for a good while, which I'm sure we're all under the impression of anyway. I suppose it is all good and well hearing about these leaks and speculating, etc., but when you actually think about what this could mean for the game, is it as necessarily as good as it sounds? Well, I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer here, but would the multiplayer experience take away from what Cyberpunk is great with? And I probably don't need to tell you what Cyberpunk is great with. I'm talking about the amazing storylines, fantastic side quests, immersive characters and world. I'm under the impression that CDPR are absolutely more than capable. I'm thinking they're one of the best companies in terms of putting out RPG games at the moment, but multiplayer is an entirely different beast. Could multiplayer tone down those RPG elements that's made Cyberpunk shine in the first place? I don't know about you guys, but I'm sort of on the fence about it. As much as I would absolutely love to see Cyberpunk Online, a world set in Night City where I'm able to do heists with my friends and just overall be in the same world as them, I come to Cyberpunk and CDPR in particular to play a RPG single player game. Now, if I know that this multiplayer mode is going to take away from the experience that I got in Cyberpunk 2077 and leave a product that isn't as good or 100% what they want to deliver to us, then I'm not sure the multiplayer is the right direction to go with. Of course, it has been done in other companies such as Rockstar. We obviously saw Red Dead Redemption 2 being made one of the greatest games of all time by far, as well as that they had an online mode next to it. Now, if you compare both of these games, you can notice that there is a significant difference in quality with the online mode and the single player RPG mode. Although it does feel like Rockstar kind of abandoned their online mode, it didn't take away from the quality of Red Dead Redemption 2. That means that it does leave a little bit of hope for me that Cyberpunk will be able to put both separate products out, an online mode and a single player mode. However, with every multiplayer game, there is always that one controversy which is just inevitable in a live service mode, and that is the fact that there is going to be in-game transactions involved. Now, this would be very new territory for CD Projekt Red, and especially for the fanbase that they have developed over the years. You've got to think, so many of us have been drawn to CD Projekt Red for the amazing RPG games that they've made. We're not necessarily used to them pushing microtransactions onto us. And that's not saying that they're going to push microtransactions onto us at all. I can imagine they're going to be very humble and respectful about it. You've got to come to terms with the fact that if there is a multiplayer mode, there will be in-game transactions involved, whether it be for cosmetic items or in-game currency. That's just the way it's going to be with all of these online modes. Overall, I think it would be an interesting concept to bring multiplayer mode to Cyberpunk. Obviously, if done well, I'm all for it. If it's not going to take away from that single-player RPG experience, if it's not going to give us Cyberpunk Orion at 100%, it's going to be good in my books. I'm totally happy for it to go ahead. At the end of the day, you've got to think this is something they have been planning since 2013. It's something they've obviously always wanted to do and something they always had in the back of their mind. You've got to think for these guys, it's going to bring a much bigger audience as well. They're going to be expanding from the RPG domain to the online multiplayer domain, bringing a lot of fans into this amazing world where they may not have been interested in exploring it in a single player mode, because believe it or not every gamer is RPG fans. There's a lot of people who just kind of like their sports games, they kind of like their GTA Online, so CDPR probably tend to target those more casual fans. If there is any other news on this, I'll be sure to cover and make a video discussing it. Please be sure to let me know though what you think in the comments. Is this something you would be entirely open to seeing? Are you thinking it's going to diminish the quality of Cyberpunk 2 as a game? And do you think this is the right move forward? Of course, if you have enjoyed the video as well, please be sure to consider leaving a like and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks very much for tuning in.